All right, everybody, welcome back to Success on the Spectrum, the podcast. It is Brittany, Lyndsay, and Chey. Today, we are talking about something that I am currently am now have been my entire life I've struggled with. Raise your hands, other ladies, if you also struggle with these things or have struggled with these things. Yep. Okay. So sleep. Sleep is the topic today, and why some of us need a whole lot of it to function, why some of us don't get any of it, what we're doing to combat it, and all the things. So, I'm a non-sleeper. All right, we've talked about that a few times. I now am up to like maybe 4 or 5 hours a night, and that's only because like I have found ways to fully exhaust this thing before I go to bed at night, because that is my big stopping factor to the sleep cycle is that my brain does not turn off. And it's not even
Yeah.
normally anything important. It's just like a full recap of everything today. All the conversations, all the potential things I said or did wrong. Ew. Ew. Why are we
I
like this?
yeah, I do not sleep well. Like people who are oversleepers, I'm like, what is that like? I have not slept well for my entire life. And it's frustrating because like I always thought I wasn't a creative person. So like in elementary school, whatever, and they're like, draw this. And I'm like, I don't have any inspiration to be creative for what you want me to be creative with. So I always told myself I wasn't creative. Now as an adult, when I go to bed, oh my God, I'm like, I'm freaking brilliant. I have the most amazing ideas. And I'm like, if I sleep right now, I'm going to forget all about this. So I've got to sit up. I've got to get my notes out, app out. I've got to write it down. I've got to do this. I've got to do that and set reminders. And I get so insanely creative and productive when I'm supposed to be sleeping. And I was doing some research about like why that is. And apparently it's because with ADHD, you are under a lot of pressure all day, trying to maintain focus or gain focus. You are masking, you are, doing tasks that are distracting from any other sort of focus because we can really only focus on one thing at a time. And so at nighttime, when our brain kind of shuts the day off, it's like, hey, this is what Chey wanted to be thinking about all day instead of, her career or, this client or whatever. And I just take off with it. And, I sleep next to someone every night who, as soon as his head hits the pillow, I mean, he's not waking up till the morning. And
I think
I
we
get
all
so
sleep next to
jealous.
someone like that, which is so funny and a recurring theme.
Yep, just
It's so
out.
jealous.
When I met
So
Steve, he was able to fall asleep standing up in the shower in the morning. Just a little, just a few extra, just a little extra. I was like, What?
what?
I've never, I've never.
So there is a term for it, Chey. It is considered a circadian rhythm disruption, which most of us have, but it is specifically delayed sleep phase syndrome, is what it's called. So DSPS, and 73% of autistic individuals have that. And it says in ADHD, sleep onset is delayed by 1.5 to 2 hours on average compared to neurotypical individuals because of either self-sabotaging, self-aware relapse of the day, which is what I have, or letting your brain finally release the things that it has to do the things that it wants to do, which is what yours does. And those
Okay.
are actually the most common for ADHD and autism.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've
So
been doing
where
so,
I
and
know,
it's
so I know about circadian rhythm. So basically, a neurotypical person would get tired around 10 or 11 p.m., where we don't start to get tired until 2 a.m.
and it depends. We each can have different circadian rhythm disruptions. There's like many kinds. I mine is actually, while I do have a lot of the autistic traits, mine is partially trauma too. Like I run
Mm.
from things in my sleep that like disrupt, and then I wake up panicked and I can't get back to sleep. And like so mine's probably across the board, but we also all probably all of us, because this is highly common, 63% of us on average suffer from melatonin secretion irregularities.
That's what I was going to say, actually, because your circadian rhythm and your sleep patterns are, well, number one, they're also genetic. So there is actually like a gene variant where you are like a short sleeper and you're like 4 hours or 6 hours, like you just don't need it. It's DEC2 gene variant. That's as far as I know about specifically what it is, but it's like your chronotype, like the type of genetics you have, but also neurodivergence. We already have secretion issues, not just with melatonin, but also with dopamine and serotonin, which all regulate your sleep patterns. And then also like your
Mm.
decisions that you make at night. I will tell you, as someone who is a chronic insomniac, the biggest decision that I made, the biggest lifestyle change that I made was that I do not sleep with my phone next to me, which like a lot of people can't do. But like, I don't even remember when I started doing this, but my phone charges in the bathroom and the door is closed. And I like put it on do not disturb at a certain time. That doesn't mean that I don't look at it, but I like try to make it a point. And I try to make it a point not to, which I haven't been great at the past like year, but I try not to look at it a minimum of 1 to 2 hours before I go to bed. And now I'm like, it's more around, 30 minutes or so. I'm like pushing it out and I have a little shortcut the screen goes red light. So it doesn't disrupt your patterns.
Yeah, so my phone
Like,
does that automatically at like 9
oh,
p.m.
oh, mine goes
Um,
on dark mode, but not red mode. Yours goes on red mode?
oh, it does dark mode or whatever.
Oh,
It turns the
okay. I was
blue
gonna
light
say, teach
off.
me how to do that because I gotta like click my button 3 times. I like made a shortcut
So
for it.
I oh, okay. You'll have to teach me that.
I will.
But
Somebody else taught me that, so I will.
I used to, so just from someone who has done both, I used to do that. And I would put my phone across. I started doing it because I couldn't get my ass up in the morning because I wasn't sleeping at night. So I would used to be a chronic, used to be, Chey, be real with yourself. I am a chronic uh, snoozer. Snooze, snooze, snooze. I'll do it for an hour and a half and I can't get my ass out of bed. So what I used to do a few years ago is I would plug my phone in on my dresser, go to bed, and I wouldn't even bring my TV remotes. And it was miserable at first because I was like, please, 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 you don't have your phone, you don't have the TV. Like, I am begging you, please. It's important stuff to do tomorrow. It's be so frustrating. But after a couple of weeks, I could get myself there and get myself wind down. And then when your alarm goes off in the morning, you have to get up to go turn it off. So I really it worked really well after I got over that like initial hump, but that was really nice because what the ADHD brain chases at constant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is stimulation. It is something
Dopamine.
that our brain is constantly chasing. In this, fing, 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 it's at our fingers constantly. Lights, sounds, audio. It's funny, it's sad, it's captivating. It's just constant. And each
Hmm.
one being a different emotion, different feeling, different color, different pace. And it's so addicting. I am insanely addicted to social media and I'm very aware of it, and it really affects my sleep, but it's all connected. The ADHD wants the social media because the social media is stimulating and that stimulation causes me not to be able to go to sleep, and then I don't sleep, and then I can't wake up, and then it's just a whole freaking cycle. It's so difficult.
And
It's
it's
really hard.
designed that way.
100%.
We are Skinner's rats. That's all we are. We're
Yeah.
Skinner's rats. And instead of,
My sister
cocaine,
was
it's just,
talking to me the other day about how just going into Target is designed to make you spend more money. What do they have when you first walk in? The dollar bins. And then you're like, oh, just $1. And then you've got 5 of them. And, the way that the store and just like IKEA and things like that, the whole world is designed to distract and, so
Consumerism.
and that's the
yeah.
thing too that makes it worse for neurodivergence, I think, is because we already have heightened sensory perception. So when you have all of this like external stimulation that is visually designed, auditorily designed, social media, like we, from on a chemical level, I feel like we struggle a little bit more even sometimes than people who are like not affected. Like I don't think it bothers Steve at all. Like going on social, like he can watch like some crazy thing on Facebook and watch the news, and then he can just like go to bed and just wake up like I feel great. Birds chirping, like you
I
know.
get overstimulated if I scroll for more than, because I have to scroll social media a lot. I have to pay attention to what's trending, algorithm stuff,
Mhm.
changes in all the things. If I scroll for more than 10 minutes, I get overstimulated.
Oh yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, ugh, like I kind of almost want to throw my phone, but it's probably also because that's my job.
Yep.
So there's probably
Yeah.
a little bit of like meh
But
to
that's
it.
why I think that like if we can learn the tools that lower or mitigate the impact from a sensory chemical perspective on all the stimulation that we get, and we can learn to regulate our parasympathetic nervous system, like that is the absolute, like that is the only way to like support it. And that's why I think that my sleep has gotten so much better. Like I used to have horribly disrupted sleep, the sleep that I would get. Now I mean I do have disrupted sleep. I don't sleep well, but I fall asleep faster. So I've made some changes, but like a lot of a lot of it is just like things I've learned from other people. And even like recently, I've been implementing like some breathwork practices when I'm in bed that my friend Mel has taught me. And I swear I'm falling asleep faster because I'll have like racing thoughts and then I'll just be like focus on the breath, and I'll either do like a box breathing or like breathe in for 4 seconds through the nose and then breathe out for 8 seconds through the mouth, and then just make
I
it
do
like
that.
super rhythmic and stuff. And I swear I've been falling asleep fast because I don't know, it's been helping me a lot. But like not having overhead lights after 8 or 9 o'clock, just using the little lights like blue blockers, which I know you use those a lot, all that kind of stuff, like helps a lot.
The this kind of makes me think about, kind of transitions well into something else I'm thinking about, is not only do we consume stimulation, but we also drink it and take it in pill form. LOL, as she sips her
Ghost,
sea.
sponsor me. I'll never stop asking. Please. I
Mine's
love you.
downstairs. I'm gonna mix it. Well, I won't say that. I'm gonna have a drink later on the boat with it. But I looked it up. It's like this natural one that I've been drinking, and it doesn't make me jittery or anything. And it says that it's okay to mix with drinks. But
Is it
anyways,
the yerba mate? That stuff's good too.
no, it's called Bubbler, and it's the best energy drink I've ever had in my entire life. I am a fan.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna write that
Yeah,
down.
I'll send you the link. But
I
anyway,
tried the Bloom ones the other day and they made me super jittery. I don't know what it was.
Bubbler.
Bloom.
Bloom.
Oh,
Don't they
I've never
make
had
like wasn't that like one of the original like TikTok famous like poop powder?
Bloom.
Green powders.
Totally. Yeah.
I lost 20
Um,
pounds by pooping.
Yeah.
literally. I'm like, yeah, you've been backed up for 10 years, sis. Anyway, it's because you're not eating enough fiber. Like, I'm sorry, but it's your diet, and now you're just shitting your pants. But all right.
You know.
I anywho, let me get into this. So people are always like, because I have ADHD, like my energy drinks, it doesn't do anything, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. Yesterday on the road trip here, I'm in Arkansas, everybody. I drank a Red Bull, and that was the first nap I was able to take on the trip. I drank the Red Bull and passed out. However, we have to be careful with when we're consuming caffeine and taking our medication. If you take medication for your ADHD, my ADHD cannot be taken past 9 a.m. or I will not sleep until 3 or 4 in the morning. I cannot go to sleep. And I'm telling you, I cannot take it at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Anything past 9, I am pulling an all nighter. Period. Point blank. So,
That's
and if I
crazy
have
that one
to,
hour makes that big of a difference.
it's insane. It's really, really crazy how long it takes to fully get it out of my system. And so for me, have to choose, like, am I feeling coffee or am I feeling energy drinks today? Because I can't do both with my Adderall or I'm not going to sleep. So we have to, we drink, we eat whatever stimulating substances. But for me, it needs to be a very calculated thing. I'm not going to sleep. And when I was a kid, the doctors, I was on Strattera first for my ADHD in elementary school, and they paired that with a sleeping pill. So I took my Strattera before school, and then at nighttime I had to take a sleeping pill. So I know it pisses me off too, but
I have. Oh, sorry. I have some.
It's like an accordion.
So I have a different issue that I don't know how to combat, and I can't really find any support online or resources or any of the things. I cannot stay asleep once the sun peaks. And I can be in a completely blacked out room, not be able to see any light of day. My body knows. And it doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. So that's often the reason I'm not getting enough sleep, is because I can't get to sleep at night. But then the second the sun is up, I am awake. And so much so that you can actually watch my sleep cycle change as the days get longer and shorter throughout the year. I wake up at different times, but I have not set an alarm unless I've had to be up before the sun in 10 years.
Wow.
The only time I ever have to set an alarm is if I have to be up before the sun, or if I take a nap in the middle of the day and need to wake up at a certain time, because I will like lay down in the middle of the day and be out for 3 hours and like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I cannot do that because then I'm not sleeping until the next day. So
I wonder if that's your circadian rhythm, that like maybe it's just like a routine thing. I don't know.
I almost feel like I have a longer day cycle than most people. Like, I almost feel like if I were to just go into a cave and live the cycle without being able to tell days, times, whatever, I feel like I would be probably awake for about 20 to 24 hours, and then I would sleep for 6 to 8. Like, I feel like I have a longer energy rhythm than the average, like, 24-hour human. And I think that's why I have such a hard time fitting my expenditure of energy and my recovery into one day.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That like you're like some people maybe have more of like a 12-hour circadian cycle and you may have a 24-hour circadian cycle. That's interesting. I would be curious. I wonder if you have that DEC2 gene variant.
I'm curious now too.
Mm-hmm.
I can go look, I guess.
There's
I've
a
had
really
genetic
good
testing.
podcast about sleep health and the gene variants and different chronotypes and stuff like that specifically. And I know it was Andrew Huberman, and I don't remember if it was the Huberman Lab podcast where it's just him, or if he was on someone else's podcast. Maybe it was like Lex Friedman or something like that. And he was talking about like the different variations in genes and like requirements for sleep and all that kind of stuff. Fascinating. Honestly, that's where I get a lot of like, and supplements that can be supportive as well. Like that's where I feel like I've gotten a lot of really good information about sleep. Huberman goes into it about like with sleep a lot. But I take I mean I have like a sleep support every night. I take vitamins. I take vitamins like 3 times a day, but my nighttime vitamins always are like magnesium glycinate, ashwagandha, although ashwagandha I cycle, I believe on a 90-day frame or something. You're not supposed to take it super consistently, like every single day. And then like theanine.
I want to make
What
like a
else?
montage of Brittany saying supplements, 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 supplements. There's this one
And
supplement.
Huberman.
Huberman, yeah.
Podcast. Or I heard this somewhere, but I don't know where.
Yeah. So something that
Dude, I literally so in my previous life as like a professional meathead, my literal like title, like what I went by that I like made up and then everybody honored it and I put it on my name tags and stuff when I managed GNC and everything was Chief Gains Facilitator. And I was just like the supplement, like that is just my thing. Like if you need supplement support or whatever, like, and if I don't know, I have 3 books like this.
Yeah.
I will find the information.
Chief
Which
Gains
I really,
first,
really
baby.
I
respect
like that.
about you
Mhm.
is that you back what you have to say. And I respect that a lot.
You're like, I
Um,
have this earmarked in some book somewhere, some podcast. I wrote this
yeah.
down somewhere.
So something really relatable that I'm going to talk about with ADHD that has been really heartbreaking for me, and I can guarantee that there are other people out there who have ADHD who are going to be like, "Yep, that's me, been there," and that is that tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow, because right now I am feeling good. I am feeling energized and I am ready to get back into starting a morning routine. And we're
Mm.
fucking jazzed up. We have it written out. I'm going to wake up at 6. By 6:30 I'm at the gym. By 7:30 I'm at home. And we're looking at this paper and we're like, tomorrow is the day that I get my life together. I'm so excited to implement this routine because I know how great it's going to be for me. And then we go to bed that night and we can't sleep. And we don't fall asleep till 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. I've done all of those many times. And by the time it hits 2, you ain't getting up at 6:30 in the morning to go to the gym. And everything for the rest of the week is off kilter. You're disappointed, you're bummed out, you feel kind of like a failure, you wonder if you can ever be consistent and have a routine, and it is heartbreaking because in that moment when you're ready to start and you're ready to turn a new leaf and then you just don't get there because you didn't sleep well at night. It is like one of the most frustrating parts of it that I've experienced for sure. I feel like it always happens when I'm ready to start my morning routine is when I do not sleep well. So
I have where
anyway,
I know I'm not going to sleep and tomorrow's just really going to suck and there's nothing I can do about it because I'm going to be up.
yeah, I argue with myself whether or not, well, you can't sleep in. I can. If I'm tired, I can sleep in. And I'm like, okay, I slept for 3 hours and I really wanted to go to the gym today. Do I go or do I sleep? And I'm like, they always say sleep is like up here, but and how good is the workout going to be if I'm freaking exhausted? So and I'll just get pissed and shut my alarm off and go back to bed. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
do you
No,
guys,
I have the unfortunate autism likelihood to burnout because I will look at that situation and be like, "Oh, I'm going to go to the gym and maybe that'll make me even more tired tonight."
yeah,
I'm just going to keep
yeah,
pushing until I completely burn out and can't not sleep and rot in bed for the next 3 days because I do that. I definitely do that.
I haven't done that I only do that when I'm sick. And I used to do that a lot. I feel like I used to have a lot more um like depressive bouts, I guess, basically, where I would just like dissociate and rot and that sort of thing. And I mean, I really don't remember any time. Probably the last time was like the year within my dad's passing. So it was like probably 2019, 2020. But like since then, it's only been when I'm like sick. And we've talked about this before for sure, where like sometimes I'm kind of riding it too hard and I cause that a little bit, you know? But I feel like how do you how do you guys, Lyndsay, when you have a day where you're like, I'm not sleeping, because everything that you do, I feel like is very mentally intensive. And so I personally, like, I do not function well when I haven't had enough sleep. Even if I want to force myself to do stuff, it's, I mean, not only is there a noticeable decline in my cognitive and processing abilities, my verbal recall, my memory recall, like, I literally just feel dumb, when I don't have a certain amount of energy or when I haven't had a certain amount of sleep, how do you like retain or improve or fake it that day, I guess, till you make it, like with your actual cognitive ability and the doing of the things? Because I can tell myself I'm going to do the things and I can sit in this room and like force myself to try and be productive, but what gets done? I don't know. Like, how does that work for you? How do you
So
rally the cognitive troops?
there's
I
there's three
guess.
there's three factors to that actually, and one of them took me a very long time to master. For a while now, I have been able to completely dissociate. I can disconnect from my brain from my body to get things done when I know they have to get done. And the second factor to that is because I know I've positioned myself into a place where taking one day off creates a snowball effect
Mm.
of work that I cannot catch up with. So I have a running tally all the time. I literally have a running tally. I have about 4.5 hours of work that I'm carrying over from last week right now that has not been done. Like it's a constant running tally. And so being hyper aware of the amount of responsibilities that I have at all times does not like it's like being a prisoner to my own brain space. Like I don't get to leave it. So I have to basically disconnect my brain to get the job done because my body is not capable right now, is what it comes down to. So even on the days that I'm rotting in bed, I still have my laptop in my lap. And it is not healthy. Do not suggest. But most people don't have the lift in their lives that I do. So, you know, don't do what I do, I would say. The third factor to it is also that I know what's going to cause that burnout for me. And I kind of know when it's going to, like, I know if I'm speaking at a convention or like hosting a stage or whatever, I need at least 48 hours after that before I can human with other humans again. So I will be very intentional about like, I will schedule 2 days at a hotel here in Vegas before I come home. If it's been like a solar con in Utah where I've had 17 different events that I've had to be filmed for, and like it's been 18-hour days for 7 days straight, like I know that I need to take some time to turn it off and turn it back on and to reboot the system before I bring it home and then have to jump right back into mom life. So it's those three things together, honestly, is the only way that I like am able to function on. Because I think we've had conversations sometimes where like I've been up for 36 hours. I have not slept.
Yeah.
And those days you can tell I'm not okay, but the base task list is getting done,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think at some
I,
point you get in your life where like you can't you can't let it be a detriment to you. You just have to suck it the fuck up
yeah.
sometimes. And
I think on
that's
the days when I've just pushed through, I get pretty good sleep the next night because I can't
you're
function
exhausted.
anymore. Yeah.
I feel like it depends for me. Like there's certain things that I can do tired. There's certain things I can do basically no matter what for the most part. Like
Sure.
I can knock doors if I haven't gotten
I
enough.
was literally
I
about to
can
say
knock
that.
doors. I mean, you know what I mean? I can like
Yes.
it
I was
I
literally going to
can't
say when I
like
was in door to door, I don't give
yeah,
a crap. I can go sell door to
because
door.
it's so that's the easiest part of my job. That's the
I
easiest
agree.
part
The
of being a business owner. It's the easiest part of everything that I have to do for me.
That's where we're different. That's where we're different because the psychological, emotional, and physical energy that I have to create to deal with strangers and displacement on their doors and rejection, that is way worse for me without sleep than my highly technical computer stuff I
I
do.
feel like I don't even register rejection on the doors anymore.
Yeah.
No, I not at all. And like I think talking to people, especially if it's a good interaction, is very energizing for me.
Oh yeah. Every
I
dog I
imagine.
pet is a reboot.
Yeah.
Just like it's just I don't I don't register like, and it's also because I'm not having hard conversations anymore. Like I'm not in solar
Yeah.
sales anymore. I'm in the trash
That's
can
true.
cleaning business. You
Solar's
know,
hard.
it's pretty chill just
I
from
did have a lot of fun knocking with you
objectively.
for
It
that.
is so fun.
Yeah, it's
Because it's
different.
not like I'm not, what am I gonna do? Fight with you over $17? Like, then don't clean your cans. I don't care.
Yeah. You're
Whatever.
maggots.
Yeah, next. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of like bad interactions anymore. You know what I mean? Or just like people that come out super hot. It's so much easier to disarm and just throw everybody else under the bus. Don't worry, I come in peace. I'm not here about solar or roofing or pests or whatever. Just throw everybody else under the bus and they're like, "Oh, then why are you here?" Well, let me tell you.
How
Dude,
often are you
the
knocking?
amount of masking I do on the doors is an energy expenditure that I did it for 3 years and was not in the best shape at the end of it,
I feel like I
altogether.
do the least amount of masking on the doors. I do the most amount of masking probably for like business development, like networking events, and not,
Mm.
I don't think it's necessarily such a conscious perspective. I think it's still just like trying to, first of all, it's new for me. I haven't done any like business development focused networking, representing my own business and my own brand and everything else, like ever, really. Solar is different. Being a solopreneur and being an entrepreneur are two completely different things. And it was I didn't really realize how different it was until you enter that journey. Without, it's hard to get to the entrepreneurship part without the solopreneurship part, though. You have to kind of like get into that, that's why those, what is it, the four squares, the um four corners of leader or of business ownership.
The quadrants?
Thank you. Why couldn't I think of the word quadrants?
I was like, what is she
Yeah.
talking about? You said business, and I was like, oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
We're
Robert
good.
Kiyosaki. Thank you so much. Yes, the four quadrants. I think that is really important. Like I didn't understand that until I moved from like the second quadrant to the third one. I was like, "Oh, very different." But I think it's more of like getting over the imposter syndrome of like I can be all of my most authentic selves because there's like more than one of us in here and I can wear all those hats and I am all of those people authentically and I can show up as that person to like all these networking events because at the end of the day like everybody's just like people, but in my mind like I'm meeting a lot of really like sharp, like older, like professional women, and like I feel like kind of like such a little kid sometimes around them and I have to like remind myself like no, I am a business owner. Like, and then I have to just like remind myself sometimes on my way to a networking event, like if I don't feel confident in my outfit, which is almost always the case, if I don't feel confident in, I don't know, like whatever it is, I have to just like remind myself and be like, what are they gonna do? Fire me? And it's like the thing I say to myself. I'm like, what are they gonna do? Fire me? No.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, but
And it's
knocking, I
more
don't
likely
feel
that they'll
masked knocking at
appreciate
all.
you more, also.
Some.
The ones that matter.
Yeah.
That's how you find I mean, here's the thing, at least about business networking, in my opinion, and we're way off the topic of sleep right now, but um, I feel like I'm starting to learn that the more authentic you can show up to those types of environments, the faster you actually meet and connect with the people you should be working with.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And the only thing that stops us from showing up as that person is always our own like self-talk, preconceived notions about ourselves, our own imposter syndrome, our own like stuff. You know what I mean? And like everybody wants the rawest version of everybody else. And we just convince ourselves that we're like just not. perfectly packaged enough for this person or this situation or whatever the case may be. But yeah, you're totally right. The sooner you can just show up as that person across all spectrums, like in every situation, like show up the same, then the sooner everything gets going for you in a really positive way. And you can, build your partnerships and your collaborations and your teams and find your people, and like you end up just being able to do business or life with people that you genuinely like being around, because you're not finding someone who liked the idea of a certain version of you and you're actually not that person.
Yeah.
I do have one more thing I want to touch on sleep, because it's something that I'm currently dealing with, and it's something new that I've learned. And I'm like working on it with my therapist right now. So I am dealing with some massive life changes and stressors and all of the things, right? And that's probably contributing to not being able to sleep much lately. But Chelsea brought up something interesting, because I'm in stages of burnout I've never dealt with before right now. And she brought up something that's interesting. And so if any of you late diagnosed ladies out there are struggling with newfound exhaustion and sleep issues about a year or so after you've been diagnosed, this could potentially be why. So, specifically, autistic women who are late diagnosed, who've had to mask their entire lives, have two running streams of consciousness all the time. They have the running stream of consciousness that is here and present, and they have the running stream of consciousness that is constantly gauging the environment, figuring out the mask, all of the things, right? Well, with late diagnosis, you end up with a third stream of consciousness that is also running 24 hours a day, that is now able to see both of those things, that is constantly watching, figuring diagnosis, placing, oh, this part goes here and this part goes here and all of this. So, ladies out there that are having newfound exhaustion and sleep issues in the first year or so after you've been late diagnosed, it is likely because your brain has developed an entirely third stream of consciousness that it's taking up its own energy because you have reached a new level of self-awareness.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
And I will say, it's not healthy to think about yourself that often.
It's not. But
So
now,
something that I've found helpful is, and we have heard this a lot probably in leadership conversations and things like that, but like the more you can take your eyes off yourself and the more that you can serve others at your own inconvenience, the happier you will be. And like when I find myself just, it's like that like Terminator RoboCop where it's just like they put their eyes on a target and then it's like that person's like name, age, date of birth, occupation, like and we're just doing that to ourselves all the time. Like I try to literally just pop off and I'm like, okay, who else can I think about right now? And sometimes I can break that disruptive pattern if I call someone that I really love, and then like just start thinking about them, or if I start thinking about, or if I like pray about somebody else and pray for somebody else, things like that have kind of helped me like, and again, this is because I've been doing this a lot on my way to networking events, but I like, those are some tools where I'm just like, stop. Why do you care about yourself so much? Like, that's not the move, you know? Like, anyway, but yeah.
But I think as Lyndsay is navigating her new diagnosis later in life, I think there is also a balance and a level of importance with that recognition. This is my autism. This is my ADHD. This is why I'm doing this. And just like that labeling and compartmentalizing. And there is a
oh,
healthy
that's
amount
what
of,
that is.
yeah,
It's constant. Like all
yeah,
day, I'll like catch little things and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's what that is. Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that was like kind of why I would get a little bit frustrated with my twin sister. She's like, everything is ADHD. And I'm like, yeah, everything is ADHD. It's my brain. It's my brain. Everything is coming from that. And I talk about it I do this podcast, I think about it because it helps me understand myself. It helps others understand me. And it also helps me take some pressure off. Like, yeah, that was impulsive, or yeah, I should have gone to that thing and not rescheduled or bailed again or whatever. But I have a brain disorder and I'm doing the freaking best that I can,
Yeah.
you know?
I do though. I agree with both. I agree with both, and I see both in myself because there is also the negative side for me, like the packing for conventions,
Mm-hmm.
the over processing how I'm going to be perceived. Like that is a downside to the autism, like self-awareness for sure. And I do have room to work on that, and I've been trying to be more intentional, but yeah, it becomes like a whole third, you know, set of self-awareness, and I didn't even realize that I was doing it until she said it, and I was like, oh shit, you're right. I
You've
am
explained it
constantly.
like this in the past where you have like different programs running on your software, where now it's like an additional program that's running in the background constantly. And we all know, like when we have a million tabs open on our phones, it drains our battery. You know, whether it's a good program or a bad program, it is affecting the amount of juice that you have to run that compute, you know? And so, yeah, 100%. And also, we do ask, like, why are we like this, like, all the time? And so it is like, it is very, very important to be able to, like, look inward and be like, oh, that's why I'm like this. Because
Totally.
those questions without answers are way more damaging, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. It is extremely rare because I was diagnosed so long ago. I have known I had ADHD for way longer than I didn't. And um, it is extremely rare nowadays for me to be like, I wish I didn't have this. But it's this is how minuscule it is now because it's just who I am. It's who I've always been. But like maybe twice a year, I'll be like, I just wish I was neurotypical because I'll do my ADHD will get me into something that's pretty big or pretty bad. And I'm like, sometimes I just wish I was had it. I'm normal, but I just wish I was neurotypical. But so like that part can also be. It was very exhausting when I had those thoughts a lot more often before I accepted that this is what it is, and I can't reach in there and reprogram. So this is gonna be what it's gonna be. So, but yeah.
I'm right there with you. Gotta
Yeah, I
figure
think
out
it all comes
systems around
down to like the kind of support systems that we build, which is why we talk about that all the time. You know, a lot of it is just like mitigating the overstimulation, mitigating the amount of disruption, mitigating the executive dysfunction, organizing your environment and your everything in such a way that it just helps guide you to like doing the thing easier, you know? But it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's the
I'm
only way.
I'm I'm laughing because I thought you were gonna make a joke. I thought you were gonna say, I think it all comes down to sleep, and then you were gonna wrap the episode. I was like, that was funny, and then you said,
No, it all comes down to supplements.
yeah,
supplements. Yes. And all of those things that Brittany just mentioned are probably what's affecting your sleep.
yeah.
Cheers.
So
So, on that note, I am actually running to the airport because my life does not stop. So, everybody out there watching, we appreciate you so much. We've had so much support lately. The TikTok channel is popping off. If you're here with us and watching through the episodes, if you have anything with sleep that we didn't talk about, throw it in the comments because we do circle back on a lot of topics because they are recurring things that we deal with. So, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the love. So another week of success on the spectrum. I believe this was episode 17. So
It was.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, go us.
And we are all open to chatting if you want to dive a little bit deeper into podcasts or
Yes.
recommendations or experiences or whatever.
And
You are
supplements.
not alone.
You are not alone. All right, y'all. Till next week.